So before we move into sex-linked traits, it's important that we understand how gender or sex is determined in humans. So we've talked about how males are XY and females are XX in their genotype. But how does that happen? How do the chromosomes end up being different? Well, female eggs all have just one X chromosome. Okay, all female eggs have an X chromosome, just one. Sperm, on the other hand, can either carry an X or a Y chromosome in them. So remember, when we have sexual reproduction, fertilization, the sperm finds the egg. Okay, in this case, the eggs we know all have X's, and the sperm either has an X or a Y. So depending on if an X sperm fertilizes the egg or a Y sperm fertilizes the egg, that's going to determine if the offspring is going to be male or female, boy or girl. So who determines the sex of the offspring? You can thank your dad for your gender, for either your X or your Y chromosome, because the father's sperm is what determines the sex of the offspring. So here is an X chromosome, here is a Y chromosome. Notice how much larger that X is than the Y. Basically, the Y chromosome just says, hey, you're a male. The X chromosome contains more genes. And here are two X chromosomes next to each other stained with a fluorescent staining. All right, so now that we have an understanding of X and Y, there are some disorders that are linked to the X chromosome. So some genes are inherited, mostly on the X, occasionally on the Y chromosome, and we call them sex-linked genes. And the most common example of a sex-linked gene or a sex-linked disorder is red-green color blindness. And it's caused by a recessive allele on the X chromosome. So somebody has the recessive allele on their X, they're going to be affected with this disorder. Now, a general rule here for sex-linked disorders is that they are going to be more common in males than females. Right? Since males are going to be the genotype XY and females are XX, a male only needs one recessive allele on his one X chromosome for the disorder to show up. A female needs two on both of her X's. Right? So we see these much more commonly in males than females. So if you take a look at these three pictures, you can test yourself for red-green color blindness. So all the way to the left, if you can see the number 26 in there in that circle, then you are not red-green colorblind. In the middle, there's a sailboat there, and on the right-hand side, there's a number 29 in the circle. So again, if you can see those hidden pictures, then you're not red-green colorblind.